to go off on my own. I have a one-chair salon now, but what that's allowed me to do really is to now go into coaching and help other people to, find what aligns with them. So, thanks for that help.
Oh my God. I absolutely love that you said that and you brought up the pivot that you made professionally. And it reminded me of something that I chose to do. And everyone was like, oh, you're crazy. You shouldn't do that. And it was, I had grew my sports medicine, boutique sports medicine firm to a point of I had 11, people, as I would like to say, that worked with me, not necessarily for me. And I am so absolutely grateful that I did choose to land the plane. And it was really, truly of like, I was just tired of that pace of hustle and grind. I was burning out. I was losing my hair. I was putting on weight like nobody's business. And I wasn't able to be the type of mom that I had envisioned myself being because I was working. If anyone knows anything about sports, it was just nonstop around the clock. And when you're trying to manage that many people and multiple sporting events going on at the same time and schedules and all these things, like it was just, I wanted to pull my hair out at a certain point. I was grateful for the opportunities, but I had to shift and pivot, which is when I decided to get into the teaching aspect of my industry. And although it was a huge pay cut, it was a life that I wanted to live a more normal schedule. I didn't want the 3-a-days anymore. I was a little over the whole day in, day out. I was living in the locker rooms. I had to bring my kid into the locker rooms at certain times because I was working that much. And I was like, man, before I know it, she'll be 18. And I didn't want that to be my life, Coach Kelly. So when you brought that up, it really brought to my remembrance of when I chose, to make that a similar change and pivot in my business. And, I really don't regret it at all. So we're talking about pivoting. We're talking about there are 4 things that came up with by superhero, the tale of Wonder Woman. This month is National Athletic Training Month. And I also wanted to close out our final day of Women's History Month as well. So we're talking about Wonder Woman. So we talked about the tools. We talked about the pivot and change in direction. Was there anyone else that wanted to pop in on pivoting or changing direction? If so, the floor is open. If not, I'm going to move on to my final 2 points. Whoop de whoop. Okay. Let's move on. What I noticed also, now everyone I think is fairly familiar with her costume. So I looked at the fact that she used what she had. She used what she had on. How many of us ignore some of the skills and the things that really make us who we are? How many of us are not utilizing the things that we have right at our fingertips, the gifts that God has put within us, the opportunities, the insights. When I look at the way that Mary Lynn can play trivia like nobody's business and that musical inclination and that creativity that she has, that there's something there. Everybody is not born with that. I see that in my granddaughter already. You sure you're not her grandma? You sure? You sure, Mary Lynn? You're not her G-ma,
Grandma.
right? I'm like, and she spent some time with you when she's spending her half a year in Tampa. I'm telling you, I mean, she is just, I see it. I know that she's going to do something along the lines with me. She's inclined to music and she can hear something one time. Like she can sing Eye of the Tiger with me. And my daughter was in shock because, and I've only played it for her once and she got it. But there's things that are innate, like Jeremy has that athleticism. Natasha, she's in the health industry. Maria with leading her team in real estate, and Patty, and I love that excitement with her, New York accent and being that hairdresser, but also the pivot that Patty, has made and what she's doing now and being that coach and helping people at the end of life and transitioning to that next phase in our journeys, and I love that. I've seen that, Najami is gifted as well with how she's organizing events, and Chima with his project that he has been passionately, talking about and moving forward on, and Luis, as well as Victor and Valerie and Bella. There's something there. There's something that we've all been gifted to do. I knew, like, before, without a shadow of a doubt, by the age of 9, that God had gifted me to teach. I knew that in some form or capacity that I was going to teach, and I was going to be involved in healing in some way, shape, or form. So I would love to know what's a tool that you guys have in your hands that you're using, or maybe you ignored it for a period of time. What's in your hands? What's something that you've used now or tapped into or finally became aware of? As I go into my last point, I'd love to hear from you guys. What's something that's within your hands that you've used that you can, would like to share?
Good morning, Health Wells. It's Bella. Good morning, BWC. It's a lot of giftings, but I'm going to stick to this one. It's the gift of administration. Health Wells, since I was a little girl, I just went around, 6 brothers in front of me, cleaning up the house all day, doing whatever, organizing things. I just had a fetish to organize things, and it turned into dollars for me when I got mature and went into corporate America. So it's administration. Awesome segment. Back to you, Shawnte. Whoa! Can't do it like you, girl.
Absolutely. I love that. The gifts of administration. I love that. My dad used to tell me that all the time. I think he did that to just have me do all the administrative stuff for him. Natasha, go for it. Over to you. I love that share, Bella.
Good morning, everyone. I was trying to figure out what to say with Wonder Woman. I used to love Wonder Woman, do that turn, that spin. Oh my God, I really like her. So I would say just using my hands, wiping my own tears and those of others, because I started as a nurse. And just hold passion with others, with compassion, when they were scared or just myself was in pain. And, carrying my books, my bags from place to place when I didn't have a home, writing prayers, resumes to get jobs, notes, and now my own book, just turning pages of textbooks, my hands. That's what I use. And just turning those textbooks when I wasn't supposed to finish, what I did, and just scratch some bars, not just a jail cell, but a resilience. And now I just use them to heal, to write, to guide and empower, and also my voice. Thank you.
Woo! I love that you're using the tool of your voice. Yes, yes, that's what I'm talking about. I am so excited. I see that Victor, he put that leaning into fear with courage and speaking up and using his voice as well. I am loving these shares. Don't be afraid to put whatever your answer is in the chat if you're not able to come off mic. But that's so key, right? Wonder Woman used those bracelets that she, had on. She didn't know the purpose of them at first, but that was something that she used to shield others and fight off, crime and bullets and all of that kind of stuff. And how wonderful is that we can also, use what we have. Patty says using her eyes and her ears. And I love that Bella, was aware that that gift of administration, and Natasha using her hands, the healing within her hands. Absolutely love what's come forth. Now, the last and final tip, and I'll be back on the other side of this, you guys, because I have a great clip for you, is she fought with love. And, there's a point in time where a fight will be necessary. And in what are you going to fight out of anger, or are you going to fight and from a place of love, being able to return back to the center core? There's a threat that you must, neutralize, but it doesn't have to be from a space of anger. We can fight with love, and Wonder Woman was one that did that. So, I wanted to bring up that point. Is there something that you're able to approach and combat through love? Well, that is our time here. I am going to go ahead and read our last comment. Okay, I think it says, okay, carefrontation. Instead of confrontation. I love that, Valerie. So we got you guys, we can keep this conversation going on the other side of this clip that's coming up. So Coach Kelly, over to you, or Mary Lynn, if there's something else, announcement or anything that you need to make. Over to you guys. Woo!
Great. We'll play the clip here. People know that they matter, that they belong. So don't be afraid. You hear me? Young people, don't be afraid. Be focused. Be determined. Be hopeful. Be empowered. Empower yourselves with a good education. Then get out there and use that education to build a country worthy of your boundless promise. Lead by example with hope, never fear. Our greatness has never, ever come from sitting back and feeling entitled to what we have. It's never come from folks who climb the ladder of success or who happen to be born near the top and then pull the ladder up after themselves. No, Our greatness has always come from people who expect nothing and take nothing for granted. Folks who work hard for what they have, then reach back and help others after them. Success isn't about how your life looks to others. It's about how it feels to you. We realize that being successful isn't about being impressive. It's about being inspired. And that's what it means to be your true self. It means looking inside yourself and being honest about what you truly enjoy doing, because graduates, I can promise you that you will never be happy plodding through someone else's idea of success. Success is only meaningful and enjoyable if it feels like your own. Your challenges as a disadvantage. Instead, it's important for you to understand that your experience facing and overcoming adversity is actually one of your biggest advantages. And I know that because I've seen it myself, not just as a student working my way through school, but years later before I came to the White House and I worked as a dean at a college. In that role, I encountered students who had every advantage. Their parents paid their full tuition. They lived in beautiful campus dorms. They had every material possession a college kid could want: cars, computers, spending money. But when some of them got their first bad grade, they just fell apart. They lost it because they were ill-equipped to handle their first encounter with disappointment or falling short. But graduates, as you all know, life will put many obstacles in your path that are far worse than a bad grade. You'll have unreasonable bosses and difficult clients and patients. You'll experience illnesses and losses, crises and setbacks that will come out of nowhere and knock you off your feet. But unlike so many other young people, you have already developed the resilience and the maturity that you need to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and keep moving through the pain. Keep moving forward. Feeling some real anxiety about venturing out into the world beyond these walls. And I'm not going to lie to you. For many of you, this is going to be a pretty big transition. In fact, I think Dr. Martin Luther King described it well in his commencement address in 1965 when he declared, quote, "Today you bid farewell to the safe security of the academic environment. You prepare to continue your journey on the clamorous highways of life." We all feel at times a little bit lost, and we all have some kind of emptiness that we're searching to fill.
And often it is only through serving others that we find what's been missing in our own lives. And like so many of you, through service, I was able to find what I needed and carve a path for my life that truly felt like my own. And the truth is, those seminars where you explored new ideas, those late night conversations where you challenged each other and learned from each other, after all of that, you might find yourself a little dismayed by the clamor outside these walls, the name calling, the negative ads, the folks yelling at each other on TV, the power of inventing the future. I just want to pause for a moment on the word invent, because the phrase isn't succeed in the future. It's not plan for the future or do the best you can in the future. It's invent the future. And with those three words comes a simple message, a call to chart your own course and live life on your own terms. And that's a lesson that I first learned back when I was a teenager. And some of you may have grown up like I did in neighborhoods where kids had very few of them had the chance to go to college, where being teased for doing well in school was just a fact of life, where well-meaning but misguided folks questioned whether a girl with my background could get into the kinds of colleges I dreamed of attending. After being surrounded by people who are so dedicated to serving others and making the world a better place, you might feel a little discouraged by the polarization and gridlock that too often characterize our politics and civic life. And in the face of all that clamor, you might have an overwhelming instinct to just run the other way as fast as you can. You might be tempted to find a community of like-minded folks and work with them on causes you care about and just tune out all of the noise. I worked hard and I did my best to tune out those voices of doubt, including the ones inside my own head. And eventually I was accepted to Princeton, and I got that education that my dad had always dreamed of. But the truth is, graduates, there will always be folks who make assumptions about you based on superficial things like where you're from, or what you're wearing, or how you look. There will always be folks who judge you based on just one thing that you say or do, folks who define you based on one isolated incident. I want to urge you to do just the opposite. Today, I want to suggest that if you truly wish to carry on the Oberlin legacy of service and social justice, then you need to run to and not away from the noise. Today, I want to urge you to actively seek out the most contentious, polarized, gridlock places you can find. Because so often throughout our history, those have been the places where progress really happens. The places where minds are changed, lives transformed. In the end, people can only define you if you let them. In the end, it's up to each of us to define ourselves. It's up to each of us to invent our own future with the choices we make and the actions we take. To succumb to feelings of despair and anger only means that in the end, we lose. Those feelings are not an excuse to just throw up our hands and give up. Not an excuse. They are not an excuse to lose hope. But here's the thing. Our history provides us with a better story, a better blueprint for how we can win. It teaches us that when we pull ourselves out of the lowest emotional depths and we channel our frustrations into studying and organizing and banding together, then we can build ourselves and our communities up. We can take on those deep-rooted problems, and together, we can overcome anything that stands in our way. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is going to stop you from fulfilling your dreams. And you deserve every last one of the successes that I know you will have. But I also want to be very clear that with those successes comes a set of obligations.
to share the lessons you've learned here at this school, the obligation to use the opportunities you've had to help others. That means raising your hand when you get a seat in that board meeting and asking the question, well, whose voices aren't being heard here? What ideas are we missing? It means adding your voice to our national conversation, speaking out for our most cherished values of liberty, opportunity, inclusion, and the values that you've been living here at this school. It means reaching back to help young people who've been left out and left behind, helping them prepare for college, helping them pay for college. So I want you all to go out there, be great, build great lives for yourself, enjoy the liberties that you have in this great country, pursue your own version of happiness, and please, please always do your part to help others do the same. Back to you, Health.
Woo! Goodness, my screen even timed out on me. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love that clip from Michelle Obama. Hopefully, let's see, do we have, yeah, it's in the chat. You guys, there's so much that came up, and there's quite a bit that I have, and I want to definitely open the floor and see what came up for you guys, and then I will share what came up for me. Floor is open.
Hey, good morning. I'll share mine. This is Natasha. Again, just share a little story. Well, not a story, but something happened to my life that ties in with that. There were days I walked in class knowing I was the only black woman left, feeling the weight of not being wanted there. I carried the pain of rejection, racism, and judgment like bricks in my backpack. Then I was expelled, not because I wasn't capable, because I was a threat to systems not built for me. But just like Michelle Obama said, you should never view your challenges as a disadvantage. Instead, it's important to understand that your experience facing and overcoming adversity is actually one of your biggest advantages. So I kept moving through the pain that she said, through the heartbreak, through the lies, because the world doesn't get to decide my worth, I do. And the takeaway from that is keep moving through your pain. Your purpose is heavier than your past and far more than powerful. Thank you.
Ooh, wee, you on fire, sister. I love it. I love it. I love that reflection of that piece that came up for you. Patty, go for it, sister. Over to you.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what came to mind in this clip? If I'm wrong, it was a recent clip. It was shared by my good friend, one of our friends here. I believe Bella. We all share so much. Sharing is caring, right? The point is who she was talking to. I do believe she was talking to all young students, right? College kids, is that correct?
Absolutely.
That was a recent clip, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad, because even if I was wrong, the idea that she did mention the students, right? When she was saying that when I was your age, or when I was something to that effect. The point is who you're speaking to, and the fact that she was speaking to our future generation. That to me warms my heart. So continue to do that as champions. I think that's important because we learn and grow together here, but most of us, I think the majority are good adults past the college life, and hopefully there are a couple of college kids that come through these clubhouse streets and land here in the beautiful table. But nonetheless, I think it's a really good reminder to emphasize the importance of the delivery to speak to those ears that are a future generation. Thanks for letting me share. God bless.
Yes, Patty, I love it, right? Because it really picks up on the point of what she was saying, that none of us, people who truly are successful didn't pull up the ladder after themselves after they climbed that ladder. No, you have that ladder down so that you can help the next generation. That's the thing that I love about the wise veteran players that I'll see. They'll pour into the next generation and their leaders, they actually can make the team better because they're pouring into the rookies that are coming in, the newer athletes that are coming into the organization. And that is how we grow as a country. That's how we grow as a family, as a society. You don't despise the next generation that's coming. You actually leave that ladder so that they could climb up too. You can help them climb to the height of success. And even if it surpasses where you are. So I love that you picked up on that, Patty. Absolutely. Love, love, love that. Love to open the floor. Who's next? Anything that came up from the clip?
I'll jump in. It's Kelly. There's two things, and I think they kind of tie in together that she said. One, invent your future, and two, it was the success is only meaningful and enjoyable if it feels like your own. And to me, that resonates so deeply because going back to what you were talking about when you're asking about the pivots that, people we've made in our lives. And that was part of the big reason for me of making the pivot that I did is that I didn't necessarily feel that the success that I was reaching for was my own. It was based on, what I thought my family thought I should be doing, what society said I should be doing, goals and metrics that other people had put in place. And so when I decided that, I was going to pivot and do something for me and find success and, figure out what exactly success looks like and feels like for me, life feels a whole lot better. So I love that. And I love the whole where she said, invent your future, right? Because it's all about, I think, again, figuring out what success looks like for you, what your life, what you want it to look like, and that embodies that. That's how you think, bringing people for the ride with you with whatever lessons you've learned along the way. So start to you.
Woo! Absolutely love that. You got into one of my closing points of what it came up for me in that clip. There were so many gems, that we can all take. And I love that she, brought in the point that Dr. King made, because that was one of the points that I was going to make that I got from, her clip. So I want to give the opportunity if there's anyone else that wants to. And happy birthday, Valerie. Just want us to put up a birthday gif for Valerie. I believe you're celebrating a birthday from what I saw in the chat. So just wanted to give you a happy birthday new year, as I like to say, because I typically, when you see a message from me, it's going to say happy new year because it's the start of your new year. Woo! But anyone else, anything came up from the clip or even from this morning, what we've been talking about? All right. Yay. Goody, 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 goody. I can get into some of the points that I wanted to bring up and also seal it with, I have to leave you with some health nuggets. So here's the thing that I love, about this. Not only was the emphasis, I'm grateful that she was, talking to, students, but it really brought to mind of something that I kept that just keeps replaying, don't drop out of school, that Dr. King said when he was talking in his Life's Blueprint speech. And I said, how many of us have dropped out of life school? How many of us, because we got the certification or we got to a certain point in our careers or we got the degree, we got the whatever that thing was, and then we dropped out of school? Oh, I don't need coaching. Oh, I don't need to study. Oh, I don't need to. See, here's the thing that I think a lot of people miss about Warren Buffett's greatness. He never dropped out of school. That's why he reads so much. He studies so much. He's still in the school of life. He's still in the school of learning and gathering information so that he can apply it to his industry and to the decisions that he has to make every single day. So if someone who has the level of wisdom at what they do and the amount of mastery that him and even, God rest his soul, Charlie Munger, they both, I think that's why they lasted. They both had that concept. And so I say this to say to you, don't drop out of school. Like, I love that she brought up the point about, being determined and staying hopeful, and that, yeah, your academic career may be coming to a close for this season, but it's not over. It doesn't stop there. Own your success. And I don't believe you could truly own your success and get the level of fulfillment if you don't stay in school. The life school is what I'm talking about. So don't drop out of school. I just thought that that was a really, really good point, that she talked about. You matter. One of the key points that I also got and highlighted from Dr. King's speech, you matter. You belong. You belong in that industry. You belong in that family. I don't care what the circumstances were around your birth or adoption. I don't care whatever it turned out to be, whether you were in a group home or whether you had to live with a family or had a guardian or whatever. You belong. Focus. Oh man, think about what we're able to do with. I don't know if you guys ever did those science experiments in school where you had that the what do they call the lights, the one that you put out in the sun and you could actually burn the paper. Guess what? That the sun was there, but when we focused that energy through that light, through that lens, guess what? We were able to tap into the power of the sun. See, that's what I love about that Wonder Woman, song, is that, saying all the world is waiting for you, all the power that you possess. Do you really understand the power that you possess? I'm just saying, because you belong, you matter. Michelle Obama was right. Focus. There's so much power that you can really truly break through, and you could reach people that maybe others couldn't reach if you would just be willing to focus. There's a gift, there's a solution. That's what I love about what Mary Lynn is doing now, is that there's a power in what she's doing with JC. I love what the journey is that she's on. See, there's power in that focus. And I love the term determination. That's another point that she said. Be determined. Wonder Woman was determined. I'm just saying. And be hopeful. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope throughout your journey. Hope is not a futile thing. Hope is something that it's like that oil. It's like the oil that keeps, that engine, well oiled, and going and operating as it should. Maintain your hope. Don't lose the hope. Listen and serve. That whole, concept. It's not just for our military to serve. It's for us to serve whatever country you're in. Serve whatever company you're in, whatever organization or business that you have. Serve. Serve. Remember, you're there to serve. And I love that she said, be honest about what you enjoy daily. Like, own your success. Don't sit here and try to operate off of somebody else's, dream or hope that they had just for you. You gotta own that success. You gotta be honest about what you really want. You gotta be honest about the type of career or profession or even family or the family relationships that you really want. Be honest. Be honest with yourself. That's where that honesty starts. So I just love the fact that I truly know that we got to drop back into school. And so here's the thing. A lot of people have lost hope on when it comes down to dementia and Alzheimer's and brain health. Listen, you got to drop back into school because there is hope. I love the fact that my favorite book says, listen, there's a balm in Gilead. Listen, there are nutrients and natural things that I really hope that you'll look into. Look into lion's mane. Listen, because it'll help your brain. That's how I teach my students about lion's mane. Lion's mane gonna help your brain. Lion's mane gonna help your brain. Lion's mane. Listen, this is something that is going to help repair and recover and rejuvenate. Listen, those axons on your neurons. Like, this is going to help your brain health. You don't have to wait for a diagnosis of early onset dementia. We know that there's going to be a cognitive decline that typically happens as you age. So listen, prevention is better than an ounce of cure. Listen, there's so much research that's out there. You can check out our articles from the NIH. I'm also going to put in, a link of an interview that I think that Joe Rogan did a good job of curating a conversation about with an expert. Unless you're a nerd like me, I call myself a black nerd. Paul Stamets, he has a lot of content on all the different types of mushrooms that are out there. And I'm not talking about the ones that where you gonna sit here and chant and close your legs and all of that. No shame to those of you who do. I'm just saying, I'm talking about medicinal mushrooms, specifically like those that are like food, like medicine, like in that regard. I'm talking about lion's mane. Listen, I truly, truly hope that some of you, if you know that Alzheimer's or dementia has come into your family, guess what? You can do like Wonder Woman did, pivot. You can change directions. You can get ahead of it. Listen, prevent it. You can start your offensive plan. See, this is the thing that I love about sports is that you have offensive plays and strategies, but you also have defensive, plays and strategies. A lot of us like to use health in a defensive, manner. No, you got to get on offense. And see, the thing that I love about Lion's Mane is that you can go ahead and you can now, be on offense. You can move the ball in the direction that you desire it to be. Because I plan to be a centenarian. I don't know about y'all, but me and Mary Lynn, we already said it. Listen, we're going to be centenarians. And so can you. And that's the thing that I love about what she said with owning your success and being honest about what it is that you truly want. I want to be a centenarian. I want to have my cognition. So you know what? I tap into that lion's mane almost every single day, if not every other day. Listen, lion's mane gonna help your brain. So I'd love to open the floor. What came up for you guys either this morning as we close out in these last 4 minutes? The tools, the pivot, using what you have and, fighting with love when it is a moment that you have to fight, or understanding that the world is waiting for the power that you possess. And now the world is ready for you. There are things that only you can do. Who'd like to pop in and share? I know I said a mouthful. I'm just saying I wanted to give you guys space because I got more. I got more because your girl is on fire. On fire, y'all. Listen, when I talk about the power of Wonder Woman, the tale of Wonder Woman, when I think about this clip, from Michelle Obama, it's so powerful. Like we belong here. We can focus. Listen, there's so many wonders that you can do. Listen, we can stop a war with love. That's what the theme song says for Wonder Woman. Listen, she said you can make a liar tell the truth. See, you are so good at what you do. Think about it. That's when you know that you've, mastered something. Listen, Michael Jordan, when you saw him on that basketball court, you'll see other players that listen. He make them tell the truth. You couldn't do nothing with him. You couldn't do nothing with him. So your art, your brilliance, your service, whatever it is that you do, listen, it can make a liar tell the truth. It can make a liar tell the truth. That's why I love seeing interviews of guys who used to try to defend against Larry Bird. Listen, Larry Bird was so great that they had to tell the truth. They had to tell the truth. Listen, Larry Bird said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, and then would back it up and do it. I'm just saying, listen, your service, your skill set can be so great that you could make a liar tell the truth when they be lying, saying, oh, they'll stop you from doing this and you can't do that, or you're not good enough for this. But here's the thing, listen, I love that. Listen, you're so good at what you do. You have the power to make a liar tell the truth, just like Wonder Woman's lasso. Listen, I love it. Yes, go for it.
Because you mentioned the offense opposed to obviously the defense, and I was not into sports. I was doing the dance thing, and I get it, the general idea about offense, but could you? I know we're coming up at the top of the hour, but could you give a little bit more of an offense to somebody who is like needs a 101 on the offense? I just like to hear putting the words together with the vision. I would love that if you can.
Absolutely. And the good thing is that I'm going to be followed today by an athlete. So I'm sure Jeremy will be able to expound if he desires on the concept of offense. But see, the offense is where you put the points. Offense is where is if that's not right, this is how you win the ultimate game. And so when I'm speaking of offense, I'm thinking about things that are along the lines of prevention, things that can actually score points. So do I want my neurons to degenerate, prematurely or through just the basic wear and tear? No. So my offensive move is going to be incorporating the lion's mane. Do I want my liver to struggle? No. So one of my offensive moves will be to incorporate that chaga, which I just did. That's why I love my mushroom coffees, but you can get them outside of coffees, or teas. But those are some of those offensive moves, things that are going to put points on the board for whatever that thing, that goal, or that task is that we all desire. And that's a big part of, competition, is having offensive strategies, things that will put points on the board so you can win at whatever that game is that you're playing. And I'm in the game of health. So I absolutely love this time, Patty. And I hope that I helped to add a little light onto that question that you had. And I wanted to close us with a simple definition to tie in everything that we have talked about here today, which is, I want to read us what it means when it comes down really quick here. Oh, why did it move? Move, move, move. Okay, here we go. Wonder, a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration caused by something beautiful or unexpected, unfamiliar, or inexplicable. The desire to be curious, to know something. So I want us to return to the wonder, the woe of mankind, that admiration. I'm Shawnte Health Wells, and that is my time, you guys. Have a phenomenal day. I'll put my link in the chat if you guys want to sign up for a free session with me, and we can do some more one-on-ones that way. Have a great day. Flare out. Woo! Jeremy, over to you, brother.
I believe it'll be passed to is Natasha here? Is she doesn't she?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I completely forgot. Natasha. Charge it to my head, not my heart. It is Natasha.
I don't see her on stage. Does she on stage?
Yes, she's right below you.
Okay.
All right, Natasha, over to you for your motivation moment. Woo!
All right, here we go. Fear doesn't stop. Fear means you're human. But hear me, you can be scared and still be chosen. Scared and still be called and still crush it. Too many people feel brave, but they move because courage doesn't show up until you do. So this Monday, I'm telling you, do it scared. Launch the business, make the call, write the book, ask the question, send the email, apply anyway, show up anyway. Because playing safe never made it history. And here's the truth. Your fear is a sign to quit. It's proof that what you're carrying is big, and big dreams come with big pressure. But baby, pressure is what makes diamonds. Let's go shine. Have a great day.
Thank you, Natasha. My thing's glitching, so I didn't see you on stage, but I was like, I know I got to pass it to her before I get started here. Glad you're here, and Health Wells, good job on the shares today, and kind of pulling that along. Good morning to you guys on the East Coast. Good morning to you guys in the United States. It is 2:03 p.m. over here in Eastern Europe. My name is Jeremy. If this is the first time listening to me, I've taken over for Mary Lynn throughout the month of April for a little bit, as our CEO has more important things going on Monday that are taking her time from us, and we will obviously miss her and make sure that you guys stay connected with her throughout these Mondays and send her some well wishes as she takes care of what she needs to take care of. As Health Wells said, I've played professional sports now for 10 years, and I'm probably the only player in Europe. I'm probably one of the only players in Europe that played Division I baseball actually in college, and I didn't play basketball. So it's been a long journey. I had to play a lot of catch up and had a lot of imposter syndrome moments where I was like, man, I'm not in the position that I put myself in through all the work that I put in for baseball. I work 300 days out of the year and then step on a basketball court just for a little bit. So it's been quite the journey of transition over the past 10 years. But my question to you guys today, I was going through the audience, to be honest. I went on Rachel's profile, went on Austin's profile, went on BG's, and I was just going through your guys' Instagrams, to be honest, and I was going through some of your quotes and some of your hobbies and things that you guys are talking about, like what you're looking for on Clubhouse. And I guess my question for you today is, why are you here? Like, legitimately, to start your day around awesome people, absolutely, I get that. But my question is, if there was one thing that you could take from today into your day-to-day life, what would that be? And you guys can put it in the chat, or someone on stage maybe can just be like, this is something I kind of just want to take with me into the day. Because when I was looking through your profiles, I saw that that you guys don't necessarily have a ton of reach from the people that I just happened, not those people that I mentioned maybe necessarily, but like, and I looked through, like, Rachel, your art that you have posted on your Instagram is awesome. It's super cool. Deshaun and Keisha, I was kind of looking through your stuff. Regina, Aiden. So I was just like, as I was looking through, I was just like, man, what is something that these guys want? Like, why are they here listening? And what do you want to feel? If you were to wake up in your ideal moment, and I remember I used to ask this, I when I played in Little Rock for a while, I had a coach that was that had cerebral palsy, and he had really, really fought against it his entire life, and was still what was it, stents, I think they're called, and they're so cool. And that this guy could still move around, he could still shoot, he still wanted to be a coach, and he got hired to do a professional job. And he would tell me sometimes after practice, "Oh, that was such a terrible practice. I'm doing such a terrible job." And I asked him, I said, "Do you want?" People were not him as a coach. And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "First of all, I need to hear your voice. I need to hear your voice. The things that you do know, I need you to say, because they're not going to respect you if you don't speak it out loud, and if you don't say it, stand by it." And the second thing is, I can't help someone who is looking at an ideal image of what they think something should be like when reality is in front of them. So when practice is going a certain way, when it's going off the rails, when people are doing a certain movement wrong, that's why you're there. You're a coach. So in this moment when people are going all over the place and it's not ideal, that's why you're there. So that's why we need to be able to be there for ourselves, is our ideal image of what is supposed to happen today. Probably not going to happen. I hope it does. I hope it does. I hope that you have the meetings that you need to have. I hope that you feel this real good flow throughout your day. But the majority of the time, you are working to fix the fires that are already happening from the day before, or that are happening in front of you, or from your kids, or from your grandkids, or from your family members that are getting a divorce, or from the people in the church that are fighting. We're usually fighting something throughout the day while trying to create an ideal. So as I'm looking through this, stretching and growing, knowledge. I like to get motivated and learn a lot. It's awesome. It is important to be around people that you that get motivated by. Understanding. Plus, I love to be around these amazing people every morning. Fellowship. I'm just reading the chat right now. I'm learning things that I was not taught ever before in collaboration.